So continuing where we left off in our Ethan Klein's Most Toxic Relationship series, we're diving right back into the last place that we left you at, which was Trisha talking about her relationship with Ethan's brother-in-law Moses, who she referred to as a prop, but insisted that that prop became real to her. Sounds romantic, right?
Yeah, but so how do you know that he's not just like a prop for you?
I don't know. Do you ever know? What if you're just a prop for Hila?
Remember, her defense to not knowing whether Moses was a prop or not was to try to deflect onto Ethan's relationship, because that was the card she played every time her relationship was under attack. She'd just mirror the perceived attacks right back to Ethan to draw attention to his relationship instead.
He's with my family all the time.
Okay, all right.
Anyways.
What else is going on?
Trisha had insisted that even though it started off fraudulent, it became real, and cited the fact that he was around her family all the time as proof of that, as if that held any weight at all. Being around her family doesn't mean anything. It's the way that she feels about him that does, and she herself admitted she viewed him as both a toy and a prop.
In life?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to sit a couple shows out because I'm getting some liposuction, a job, and a lip job.
And you can't do the show when you're recovering? Why?
I'm going to try and do it on a Tuesday, and so maybe I can come back on a Monday.
That's a lot of procedures to get done. What happened to Moses loving her no matter how she looked? Was that love not enough? If she's not trying to impress him, who is she trying to impress? And how is somebody who constantly claims they're body positive always going off and changing things about their body? Her stands like to act like she's a fat acceptance queen, but she hates being fat and talks down on it all of the time and pays thousands of dollars so that she can pretend that she isn't.
Why don't you sit while you're recovering? I think that'd be interesting.
Which is bruised up lip.
Yeah. And then we could talk about the process and stuff. I think that's great.
Well, I'm getting some fat into my butt, and I don't think you can actually sit.
Well, we'll stand. I'm fine with that. It's only an hour.
Okay.
What?
Ethan's right in that it would be a funny gimmick, but people who are recovering from surgeries need to be in bed, not on podcasts. Sure, it would make for a good show, but not for a good time for her. Also, it's funny that he said they only have to stand for an hour, and she scoffs at that. What happened to her bragging about the fact that she could tie her shoe without huffing? Wouldn't standing for an hour prove she wasn't too heavy either? Remember, that was the point of the shoe tie. She could tie her shoe without an issue, so she said it meant she wasn't fat. I think standing up for an hour would be the ultimate test of endurance in that case with her logic.
What work are you getting done?
November.
Did she not just tell him? She literally listed it off a second ago. Listening ears. Ethan, listening ears.
I'm going to get my again, lipo in my stomach, butt transfer, and my lip pushed up.
Let's go one by one.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing with the
boobs? I just want them more fake. I need them higher. And
more fake?
Yeah. I want them a little higher, more high profile. Because I have a feeling I'm going to get proposed to soon and probably get married. So I want to get this done before all that happens.
Again, that's a lot to get done. And it's interesting that she's so confident that she'll be getting proposed to soon. She doesn't seem to have a doubt in her mind, which lets me know it's because she plans on pushing Moses to propose soon. She's got it all figured out. Plan the proposal and plan the pregnancies. And they all came when she wanted them to. No issue.
So I look snatched.
You think Moses is going to propose to you?
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
Why is Ethan so surprised at this point? They were getting that house together and investing millions in it. What's a proposal in light of that kind of commitment?
Jew proposal.
He's actually, can I just clarify for the record, even though he's from Israel and had a bar mitzvah, he does not identify as Jewish. He doesn't practice. He's not Jewish.
Okay, whatever. I'm over talking. Let's talk.
Okay.
I wish Ethan hadn't dismissed this so easily and glossed over it, because this is important. Because Trisha will later use the fact that Moses is Jewish to excuse all of her inappropriate behavior regarding the culture. When she admits here and has admitted in multiple places that Moses never even identified as Jewish. And we've shown clips before, a montage of them in fact, of Moses outright stating that he does not identify as Jewish. And listen to how she says that Moses doesn't even like what she's doing regarding the Jewish thing. He doesn't like it, and she still does it, and uses him as an excuse to have free reign to do whatever she wants with it. That's important, and Ethan should have spent a little more time talking about that, especially since he was the one calling her out for it in the first place.
Let's talk about your
Okay.
with peace and love.
Only Trish.com. Huh?
Sorry, bleep that. No, I'm kidding. No, you can.
I didn't get that promo.
You can promo yourself.
How is her chest augmentation more interesting than what she just said about Moses? Ethan is letting us down here, but notice how he's quick to reassure her that she can promote her things on their show. Whereas whenever he tries to promote something of his, she throws an absolute fit about it, which you'll see going forward. And I'm sure most of you remember.
Paparazzi the other day, and I didn't plug the only. It was a real paparazzi night. Okay, anyways, back to the booth. But
her saying real paparazzi makes me think that time in the Jason Nash series that her and Jason got stopped by that quote-unquote paparazzi, that it was fake. Because why would she make the distinct difference to state that it was a real paparazzi who approached her? Does that mean that she had been hiring fake ones prior?
Moses.
Okay, so you want your.
Yeah, I'm sure Moses loved being there with her and the paparazzi. We know how much he loves attention. About as much as she does.
To look more fake. That's your objective?
Yeah, I want them a little higher. Because I do like a work sometimes.
So she's trying to change her body for her customers? Okay, I guess.
I've seen your. Obviously, I followed you on Twitter for a brief time. And unfollowed you.
You really didn't follow me back.
No, I follow you on other socials. I just don't want to see your.
It doesn't come out as much anymore now that like.
But anyway,
how's she gonna be so offended that he unfollowed her when she was shoving that content in his face against his will? Not just on her own timeline for her own postings, but remember she actively would mention him with pictures of herself like that all of the time because she knew he didn't want to see them. Imagine a guy doing that to a girl. Imagine if Ethan had done that to her. He would have been canceled and fried at the stake.
But I've seen your. They have like really, with peace and love, really serious scar marks.
There's
on the
some
bottom.
crazy scars.
What happened there?
It's just from a lift. Oh, you want to know the real tea? I got a lift, and I keep looking at myself. Sorry.
It's okay. It's pretty close to the camera.
I love looking at myself.
There's a previewer, right? Because we're looking at Dan's back. You can look. I don't care.
I love looking at myself on camera when I look good. Anyway.
Interesting distraction here, because Ethan was just about to make her insecure with what he had to say. So she had to combat that insecurity by telling herself and everyone in the room how good she looked, so she could stay in that delusion and try to make it a shared one. Ethan was threatening her with reality, and she quickly curved it, or tried to.
No, I had 2 surgeries for the lift, and the lift always is those little scars. The problem is my scars got really big because like you're not supposed to have 6 weeks after surgery, and I have it like the day of surgery. Like as soon as I get out, I'm like having.
You messed up.
Mm-hmm. So
she loves to tell this story, but it frequently changes. In some scenarios, she claims she had to have it, so she did, and went against the recovery rules. And in other versions of this story, she claims that an ex-boyfriend made her do it.
even if you just lay there, you're still being like pushed and stuff. So the scars, like, or they were staples at the time. The staples like split open.
Oh, that's so up. Can you not?
If you want to see my scars, only Trish.com. If you want to see some, up.
But like, again, with peace and.
She tells this story like it's a humorous one too. Doesn't seem to be mad about the alleged ex that made her do it. But let's see which version she tells Ethan this time, if any.
Love, I think it's the worst job I've ever seen.
That's so not true.
No, I've never seen such scarring before.
Can I show it now or no?
No, well, we can't show it. Yeah, we can't show it.
Okay.
Back when Ethan wasn't afraid to offend her. And believe me, she was offended. That's why her go-to was to distract with the question of whether or not she could just show them. He really does threaten her delusions with reality. Ethan was like her kryptonite back in the day. Probably still is. Or could be if he wanted to be. I genuinely believe Ethan is the only equal match that Trisha has ever met. He's the only one who has ever had a fighting chance against her.
And frankly,
no, because I showed the guys at Impulsive and they said that they looked fine. Like seriously, and I was like, I know up there, whatever. And they're like, let's see. And I was like, okay. Well, I offered.
I mean, I've seen them.
But they were like, those aren't bad. Like, and because everyone on Twitter tells me,
well,
you're the Twitter troll.
Who's gonna look you in the face and be like, you're lady?
Interesting that she claims the guys on Impulsive were nice to her about this. Because remember in a later Frenemies episode, she'll tell Ethan that Logan and Mike and the Impulsive guys were mean to her when she was on. So were they mean or nice? Let's take a look for ourselves, because the moment was captured on camera.
Because one's higher than the other. Like, this one's super high and this one's super low.
Why they be like that?
They be up. I have, like, horrible scars and
1 point north, 1 point south.
I'll show it to you.
I feel like Dylan's shaking his head yes.
Yeah. Look. See, this one's higher.
Spencer, your laptop.
Higher by what? Like a quarter of an inch?
No, people always make fun of me for it, but it goes viral. So I had one go viral. And, like, so these are from the lift.
Quick interjection here. Notice that 2 of the guys in the room try their best to not even look her way. Only Mike is actually looking. Logan and the other guy look like they want nothing to do with it.
And it cut open because the day I got my surgery.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's enough. Thank you. But that said, like it's microscopic.
No,
like the difference is so.
Oh.
And even Mike tells her to put them away. He doesn't want to look anymore. They're not exactly all reassuring her that they're good. Mike is just saying that the difference in the size is microscopic. It's not exactly how Trisha presented this interaction.
No, because I even said, oh my God, look how f***ed these are. Like, I was excited to show it because I hear it on Twitter all the time. I was like, oh my God, my so f***ed show you. And they're like, no. And they were brutal with me. Like, honestly, I did not like Logan. I didn't care for him when I went on the podcast. Like, they were very misogynistic in my opinion.
So you showed them the on or off?
On camera.
Oh, they just blurred it?
Yeah. And then
Again, half the room didn't even acknowledge what she was showing them, and only Mike spoke about size difference. Nothing to do with scarring or anything she's telling him to combat Ethan's take.
And the whole time they were kind of nasty to me during the interview. So like that was the time I'm like, oh, well, this will say something. And they were like, oh, like those aren't even bad. Like, and they were brutal with me like the whole time, by the way.
They weren't brutal to her. By the way, anyone who watched that interview knows that. They were very nice to her and kind, and she even said that in some videos on her channel. She's only calling them brutal because she didn't like that they defended David Dobrik and Jason Nash when she tried trash talking them on Logan's show. Here's how they actually treated her.
I just did the Logan Paul podcast, Impulsive, which I think comes out today. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It was good, and I liked them. They were very, very nice to me. In fact, they were probably a lot nicer to me than I was to them because I got a little bit on the defensive. But they were all really, really nice. And, but yeah, it was overall a very good vibe. Like I said, they were very polite and very sweet to me, so.
This was directly after she filmed with them. Doesn't sound like such a brutal experience, does it?
So I wasn't like, I don't think they were being polite.
Polite was literally one of the words that she used to describe them fresh after the experience. But okay.
Look, I don't care. Like I get jobs all the time, so I'm ready for another one. And I'm just like ready.
But like, if you keep doing the job, does it help? I mean, at a certain point, do they like take it out and redo it?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
So full restart.
This is better than what it was.
Can they change your skin?
Yeah, they changed my nose. My nose used to be like, and now they're like.
You got new.
Seems like she talks about these kind of things to come off as appealing in some way, but it just opens the door for people to make fun of her. She doesn't have the appeal that she thinks she does. Even when she took her top off on the Impulsive set, those guys didn't care. Ethan clearly doesn't care. She's not the what symbol she thinks she is.
Mm-hmm. I can't feel it. Moses will always be like, and I'm like, I can't feel it. He tries. I'm like, and there's no
Don't
sensation.
bring up your sex life with Moses, please, ever.
Ethan is only getting more disgusted as the conversation goes on. But in all fairness, he's the one that chose the topic. But he really shouldn't have let her know that he didn't like her talking about her and Moses intimately together, because now it'll just make her want to do it more. She's already told him that.
I
don't want to know anything about it.
I love him. He's not here. Like, this is the longest we've been apart. It's so weird. Like, I never.
Do you shut the door open when he's there?
No, we have like 5 bathrooms in my house, so we go in separate.
She's not sorry, trust us. She'll be bringing it up a lot more often now. You'll see. And she talks about how clingy she is with Moses and how he isn't there and how it's hard for her to be apart from him. But this isn't love, it's just codependent. You'll later hear her compare him to a support animal.
Oh.
We know someone's gone for a long time. Like, it's probably that.
And then what else are you getting done?
My stomach lipoed again. I had one lipo and it did help because my body's more like in now. So I want my waist to go a little more in, and then I'm going to have it transfer to my butt. So my butt's just a little more round.
So you take the fat from your stomach and you put it in your...
Yeah, I did that once before.
That's a pretty epic procedure.
Is the talk about her procedures really that interesting? How much longer can we hear about this for? Who cares where the fat is going? I don't even think she ever even ended up going through with any of these procedures.
Should I show you the before and afters? Can I show that or no?
Let's not.
Okay. Because it's insane. You wouldn't believe it, actually.
But so is it to make you look skinnier or to contour your body or what?
Yeah, it brings your waist in. Can I just show you? I feel like I could just show you.
Yeah, you can show me on your phone.
It's medical. It's like, you know what I mean?
Are you afraid that...
Kind of surprised me how quick Ethan was to shut down getting before and after pictures. Why even talk about this kind of thing if you don't want to see the results? It's just liposuction. Is he interested in it or not?
Like, what do you think about Kim Kardashian's? I feel like it looks like outrageous.
Wait, why do you think it looks bad?
Because it looks like she has 2 tumors on her. It looks so unnatural.
I haven't seen it. Are you sure? Maybe it's so Photoshop. Sometimes people Photoshop
No,
things because
I
they're
seen the right
haters.
thing, but let me see.
Okay, here it is.
Oh, no, this is way more information.
No, but like...
Kind of surprised Trisha didn't hate on Kim Kardashian. She tends to hate on most women. But I guess it's Khloe that she hates, not Kim. We've all heard how she talks about Khloe.
This is... Okay, first of all, I'm not going to lie. My body was disgusting before, but now it's like kind of like legit.
Okay, this is... Okay, you guys, I'm just going to describe what I'm seeing. You don't have any... Where's your nipple?
Yeah, they're a little high. The nipple... My...
What? It looks like you don't have nipples.
They're right there. Like, see, you can kind of see.
Ethan's face is taking me out. I can't stop laughing. What is that look he just pulled? It's like a combination of horror and disgust. And these were the pictures she was showing off to brag about, and he once again hits her with reality.
Yeah, they're okay. My nipples are high. Like,
and
not
look
gonna
at
lie.
that. Oh my god.
Yeah, the
Trisha.
stars are.
So wait, this is the... Okay, you guys.
Sorry.
I'm seeing she's butt, and she doesn't have...
Okay, serious question. Why does Trisha think it's okay to show a photo of herself without clothes on to Ethan when he's a married man? Yet she'll get upset at women for even at mentioning her boyfriends through Twitter because she finds it disrespectful. Does she not also find it disrespectful to do what she's doing now? It's like she never even considers Hila.
But like, wow. I mean,
Isn't that crazy though?
But why do you look more tan in that one? This is like a fake before and after.
What are you talking about?
Because this one you're pale and this one you're
I got
tan.
spray tans because I had scars where my lipo was. See the lipo scar? So I was getting spray tan so the thing are lipoed. But look at my waist. Like even now, my waist, yeah, I gained some weight back from this photo, but like my waist is still in. Like they brought my waist in and my hips. You see, they took fat from here and put it on my hips.
Ethan cracks me up because during this era, he wasn't willing to let her get away with anything. Look at how he even calls her out on looking paler in one picture and calling the before and after fake because of it. I miss this version of Ethan, who was quick to call her out on anything he even perceived to be a lie.
And then wait, this look, but look how much rounder it is.
She showed me her ass. What are the 3 dots there?
That's the lipo from the back. So they took fat out of the back.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
They even got your back fat?
Yep.
And then where did they inject it into your ass?
So they put some on the hips and then the right there in the crack.
Again, why is she showing a married man these kind of images? It's one thing to show off a before and after of your stomach or something, or even of you fully clothed, but come on. To show him pictures of her with nothing on is extreme and disrespectful, especially considering that she finds it disrespectful for women to even look her boyfriend's way or to at them on social media.
Ew, why is there something in your crack?
That's the scar. That's the stitches.
Looks like you got poop on your crack.
It's not poop. It's stitches. So, yeah, that's that. And then I got my arms done, too. Let me see if I can find the arms.
I can't get over Ethan's disgust, because later he'll be more cautious about how he reacts to her, and he'll begin to walk on eggshells. But here he doesn't care at all. He's just straight natural reacting like an unfiltered reflex.
There's the arms. That's the after, but my arms were like crazy gross too. Like those are my arms before. I did gain some weight back, so like my arms are still kind of gross, but they're not as gross as they used to be. Anyways, it's whatever.
So
I
wait,
just hate my body.
So
She says it's just whatever and that she hates her body. But isn't this the body positive queen that her stans look up to? She's never been positive about her own body, let alone anyone else's.
when you're eating, like binge eating and gaining weight, you're like, it's all good. I'll just put it in my. Do you kind of have that thought?
Right now, only because I know I'm going to get the surgery, so now I do, but I didn't before.
Don't think that's how the surgeries are supposed to work. Aren't you supposed to lose weight for them to be safer in general? And what about the upkeep? Seems like she doesn't really think about those things and just throws money at things to solve problems rather than putting in any real effort to prevent or fix them.
But Kent, your ass certainly has a capacity for how much fat it could hold.
Yeah, but it'll disintegrate itself. So like, if it can't hold the fat, it just won't take. Like the fat won't like stick. You know what I mean? So like it'll just disintegrate basically. It's not like harming it. It's just not going to be there.
I'm confused about her information on this. Because if what she's saying is true, and she got lip on her stomach, is she saying that fat won't be accepted there anymore, so it'll just disintegrate? And if that's the case, then why does she still have fat there after the first liposuction? Clearly it can still take. Is this just misinformation that she's spreading?
Those images are going to be branded in my mind forever, dude.
We have similar body types.
Maybe, but I would never show that to you. I would never do that to you.
You had it on Twitter. I had to see your bear on Twitter.
That's true.
A gag like that is a lot different than her showing him fully unclothed photos and harassing him with images he never asked for and told her he didn't want to see on Twitter. So no, it's not equivalent, but she leads him to believe it is to make her actions seem less worse.
And I sent it to Moses, and I was like, ew.
Well, it was on Twitter. It wasn't like a big leak. Anyway.
I find it so weird that she sent it to Moses. Like what? Who does that? Why would Moses want to see his brother-in-law like that? And why would that be a topic of discussion between them? Is Ethan just gossip fodder for them?
Anyway.
So we discovered that. So when you're going to get that done, I think you should come on the show. You can't skip.
Yeah, I'm going to try and do it. As we were planning, I'm going to try to do it on a Tuesday. So it's like after the show and then like come back. Because you can do stuff like a week after. It's just like you're... So I'm trying to do it in November.
What else?
Thank God. He's drifting away from this subject. I don't know how much more they can talk about these procedures that she never even ended up doing, by the way.
What else with you? I feel like you're the one that's sad and like.
Why do you? I'm not.
I just feel like you need intervention because like your podcast, you lead it always. Like the H3, you're always leading it. You're always talking and whatever. But I feel like no one's really like, you're the one I'm worried about. Like I just feel like you're gonna, I don't know.
This is another attempt by Trisha to try to convince Ethan that he's sad and miserable. It's a tactic, and he's not falling for it. But she's trying her hardest to make him believe it. She does this to put him at a disadvantage. Like he can't judge her life if his is so sad and miserable. He's the one we all need to worry about, she says. Not her and Moses. It's Ethan who needs the concern. It's Ethan who has a problem.
I'm scared.
Of what?
I don't know. Like a Twitter headline or something. I'm like scared because
what? Of what?
I'm so sad. But like
a Twitter headline? Like, wait, what does that mean? I'm gonna kill myself?
No.
What? What is a Twitter headline?
No.
That's exactly what she's implying. By the way, he hit the nail on the head. She so bad wants it to be true too, so she can think she's living better off than Ethan. So she can pretend she's happier than him and has a more healthy, stable life. She has to paint him this way to deflect and to avoid people pointing the finger at her and her life.
Just like, I don't know. I don't want to even
give me an example of what a Twitter headline about me would look like.
I don't want to even put it out there.
Say it. What's on your mind? You obviously think of something specific.
I just want to make sure you're okay.
Say it.
I just had a vision, like 2 visions of you like driving off a bridge. But I don't think you did it on purpose. I don't think you did it on purpose. And that's why I'm like worried because I had 2 and they were very strong since the last month.
So what was the other one? Or they're both me
They're
drunk?
both the same.
Not Trisha acting like she's a psychic. That's not a vision, by the way. That's her trying to manifest it. That's a manifestation. What a weird and out-of-nowhere thing to say. Trying to convince this happily married man and father that he's so miserable and will have a sad ending. She's twisted. You know, she made up those quote-unquote visions on the spot.
Dude,
And they were like, it's not dreams. It's like in the middle of the day, I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, and I don't have those at all, ever about anybody. And I like literally had it twice since last Monday's podcast.
Who does she think she is? That's so Raven? I can't. And neither can Ethan, apparently.
Okay.
Are you just okay? That's all I
Yeah,
want to
I'm
know.
fine. I'm not planning.
But
I'm not.
I don't know if it's a thing or someone driving you off. Like, is someone following you? and
Maybe it's
driving
you.
off?
I mean,
No.
wouldn't that make more sense?
No, because like I don't know if you saw like after our podcast, I do like an after show on my channel. So I did like an after show mukbang where I got Jollibee afterwards, and I was like telling about my experience on the podcast. This podcast.
Him saying maybe it's you is the funniest clapback. That's what I was thinking. Because who would even think of something like that except someone who could think of doing that? And we all know she drove her car into Jason's house. So we know she has a thing for weaponizing cars.
So I was like directing the traffic back because like people watch me too. And then I was just like, I literally was saying like, oh, I really like love you as like a friend. Like you remind me of like myself. Like we're both very like have sad upbringings. Like we're kind of sad on the inside. And you kind of remind me of like Shane a little too. So I kind of feel like this like weird connection with you and this like weird like, oh, I get where you're coming from. And after being around your family, I was like, oh, I get it.
She's trying insanely hard to force a connection on top of forcing a narrative. Ethan is nothing like Trisha. The only thing they even slightly have in common are their food issues. Ethan is also nothing like Shane. Trisha just wants him to be. Trisha just wants him to be like her. Because, as I've said before, Trisha had a thing for Ethan. She wanted to find a way to relate to him somehow. They're not similar in the slightest. And he's not the sad sack she's trying to make him out to be. But she has to make him one so she can relate to him. Because she is.
And so that's why I was like, ooh, I should check in with him though. Because,
I'm fine.
Okay. You seem fine.
As if she would actually even care if he wasn't fine. And what does she mean he seems fine? She's been telling him this whole podcast that he's sad and miserable and that she can tell he isn't fine. And we know she doesn't care if he is or not. Because when the show imploded, she did everything she could to try to make him not fine and try to ruin his life.
Now I think I'm sad.
Okay.
No,
it's
I'm
just
kidding.
behind your eyes. Like you look happy, everything looks happy, but
No, I'm fine. Thank
Okay.
you. I'm going to be taking a drive up north today, and you may not be hearing from me again for a while, though. So
stop.
The fake concern is so performative. She's never cared about anyone other than herself in her entire YouTube career, or even life, if her life stories are anything to go by.
Why don't you guys go on like vacations? Why don't you guys do anything like
Well, we usually do, but there is a pandemic. It's kind of hard.
Okay.
And we have a kid who's 1 year old.
Mhm.
So, you know.
Do you do anything exciting? Like I feel like you guys just don't do
No.
anything exciting.
No, and it sucks. It
Because
does
you
suck.
guys will text at all hours of the night. Like you text me, you'll text Moses, and I'm like, don't they have a life? Like why are they texting at midnight on a Friday night?
No, I know. It's sad. I agree. We have no life. It is sad. We just work.
So
This is her attempt to paint his life and relationship as bad again. And he's allowing her to do it a little by admitting that he and Gila don't do anything other than work, which Trisha will use to justify and validate her made-up theories about him and them. Also, it's funny that he mentioned the global issue for why nobody could travel, and she didn't even think of it herself, because she herself didn't care about it and still did things during it. That never stopped her.
what are you gonna do to spice it up?
Well, last time, like a month or two ago, we gave the kid to my parents for 2 days. That was pretty epic.
And what'd you do?
Nothing. We just sat at home and watched TV. That was fun.
Do you guys ever do Molly together or mushrooms?
We used to a long time ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where, in Israel?
We did some here, but yeah, some in Israel. We used to do. We haven't done mushrooms together, but we've done Molly together. We've done it a lot of times together.
Trisha doesn't actually care about helping him spice up his life. By the way, she's only asking that to point out that it needs to be spiced up because there's an issue with it. Her concern about his relationship is as fake and performative as her concern for him was. She doesn't actually care. She just wants to point out that his relationship and life are lackluster in some way.
And how do you feel, Molly?
Great.
Like, do you feel loving? Do you feel relaxed?
Not just more like loving.
Oh,
and
so you
happy.
just take it and you're like, let's do it. But you haven't done it.
We've tried. Well, the thing is, we've tried having sex on it, but
You can't. Not
you
with
can't.
Molly.
It's not really a
No.
I found.
That's
so,
more like ecstasy.
But the way that we used to do it is just sit at home and just feel good.
Of course, she'd ask about his intimate life, and then pretend to be knowledgeable about what they're talking about when you know she's probably done it once if ever. She tends to lie about her history with things and overplay them. I bet she thought Ethan would say he had never done any of that with Gila, and she was surprised to find out that they function as a couple and do and try things together, which doesn't help build her case that they're such a bad, boring match.
Do you want to come over and do some?
Nah, I'm too old for that. It's just not worth it.
You know what? But you don't.
Why? How often do you do it?
Oh, not often, but like it's fun. I have some. I don't have some. Do I get in trouble? I don't have any at my house.
Well, it's all hypothetical.
So she admits she doesn't do it often, yet invited him to do it. This was her way of trying to get him to come over and bond with her in some way. Why would a married father go and do that? Also, she later cries about how Ethan should be spending 24/7 with his kid with no nannies, but she's here inviting him to do something that would take him away from the kid and have him impaired? Come on, proves she never cared about the nanny thing in the first place. And wanting parents to spend 24/7 with their children. She'd rather Ethan want to spend 24/7 with her. Let's be real.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. They say, what do they say on Twitch? In Minecraft.
In Minecraft. Yeah.
Yeah, I have MDMA in Minecraft.
I just feel like you might need that. Like that's what I was thinking is like maybe.
So the issue is, even if I wanted to take you up on that, because I'm on antidepressants, I can't take anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
What do you want?
Lexapro.
Now she'll pretend to be an expert on this too. She does this with everything. She tries to appear as knowledgeable and in the know as possible about everything to impress him and others.
What? It's not yikes. It's a really common
No, I feel like
antidepressant.
you should go on Zoloft because I feel like that's the kind of people like do want to like have even if
No.
you don't think you're lots.
Oh my God, I'm not. Dude, Lexapro is like, it's newer and it has like really good, everyone who takes it has really good experience with it. It's a really good.
Oh, so you,
Don't disparage Lexapro.
you know what? I've actually never been on antidepressants, so I don't know anything about them. So I respect.
She doesn't know anything about them, and yet she tried to encourage him to stop taking his medication and tried to lead people to believe the medication was harmful. This is incredibly dangerous to do. That medication helps a lot of people, and people may have been swayed to stop taking it or to not take it because of what she said. It's a good thing that Ethan fought her on this one.
But you could do it.
Yeah, I don't like.
Okay, well,
You just want to do with me?
I'm just trying to get you excited about life, you know?
No, I don't know. I mean, I really think I'm just gonna drive off a bridge after this.
Why would she be the key to excitement in his life? He's happily married with a child at this point. And didn't she claim to be sober around this era anyway? Her stans love to claim that she wasn't sober with Jason or anyone else, yet here she's claiming she's not with Moses, but they think that's fine. What? They also claim she only did bad things in the past because of being under the influence. Yet again, she's claiming here she still was doing those kind of things, and this is the part of her life that people often point to as her changed, healthy era. And is her own life so miserable that she couldn't think of one thing to do that didn't involve being under the influence to bring excitement into his life? Is that what she has to rely on to bring excitement into hers? Guess she wasn't as happy as she tried to portray in that case.
No.
The thing is, I like smoking cigarettes, but they're so bad for me.
That's fun. We should do that.
Just blaze, smoke cigarettes all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I smoke one and then I feel bad. I do. I have to admit.
Again, why does Trisha have to be involved in this rejuvenation of excitement in his life? It's because she's trying to play the I'm the fun girl card. The Gila is so boring you have more fun with me card. She doesn't even smoke cigarettes.
to you. I feel very bored a lot of the time.
Okay, so what do you like?
Or not bored, but like, well, first of all, I love my work, and I love also where's the podcast going, and I love the team. I love working collaborative with all these guys. It's great, and the direction of the content we're making, I'm really happy and satisfied with. Teddy Fresh is amazing. My wife, I love her. She's amazing. My son, everything's great, but like, you know, it gets very monotonous.
Can't believe he fell into that trap and validated her forced assumptions. He just fed her all the ammo she needed. And if he has all of that, why is he so bored? People just can't be happy, can they?
What would you do if you could do anything right now? Like, and there's no code. Like, what would you do that would be like your dream?
I think it'd be fun just to like jump off or drive off a bridge. No, I'm kidding. I think it'd be fun to just I'd love to get on a plane and go somewhere with Hila, but like
where?
To Europe or Hawaii or some shit.
All these are $600 right now, plane tickets.
It's not the price, it's the disease.
Go first class in like those little like suites where you don't see anybody.
You're on
like Qatar first class?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going anywhere.
Love that his answer involves his wife. It's proof he genuinely does have fun with her, and he's in a good relationship, that he would want to take her with him. But notice that Ethan cares a lot about the global issue, and Trisha doesn't. She just encourages him to loop hole around it, because she doesn't actually care about the risks like he does. He cares about what it was doing to people she didn't.
Why?
Because the
Okay. Well, you can't just live like. Honestly, I'm not. Okay.
I'm being responsible. I mean, people have to do their part here.
The fact that he even had to explain that to her is wild. It's so obvious how little she cares about it. She was just about to say you can't just stop living your life because of it. She didn't care at all, which is rich considering she later blasted anyone else who went to parties or gatherings during it, while she herself traveled during it, threw a wedding, and made multiple music videos with crowded sets during it. She never cared, and she never made it a secret that she didn't care.
I mean, yeah, but like people are dying with related causes. It's not just like I get.
Oh, you're a truther.
I don't know. Don't come for me because I actually don't know, and I'm really ignorant and dumb.
Yeah,
please put that in the preface.
Propaganda. Yeah.
No, but that's true.
He clocked it for what it was. Notice that she says as much as she does, then tries to excuse it by saying she doesn't know what she's talking about. So don't listen, but continues to talk about it freely and calls it the truth. She wants to be able to say whatever she wants, but not be held accountable for it, or to get in trouble for it. Now she'll argue her case, because she never cared about what was happening in the first place, and only cared about herself. Like I said before, her and Ethan are not similar. They are not the same.
No, of course.
People
complicates any medical issue you have. So let's say.
Can you say that word on YouTube? I think you have to say C or something.
No, you can say it.
Okay.
They changed the policy on that.
Yeah, you're like tight with YouTube.
Yeah.
No, can I say I know two people, not like super close to me, but two people that it was the family even was like, no, it's like this is what happened. They were like sick before. This is like, and I'm not saying like I don't know. But
okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah, I don't know.
She claims she doesn't know, but continues to argue against what he's saying, when it's very easy to follow and acknowledge what he's saying.
I'm literally
if
so
you're
stupid.
sick and you're sick but you're stable, then you can and what?
I think the flu. It's like a flu. It's like a really strong
complications
flu.
from. That's what they call it. This person would be alive if they didn't catch.
I mean, I know two people who died in the hospital, and they were like they were just going in for like a routine surgery, and then like. So. I mean,
Her dismissing it and equating it to just a flu is wild. She really didn't care and tried to downplay it as much as possible, likely because she wanted to continue to be selfish and travel and go to gatherings and do what she wanted to do. She's never been the caring queen that her stans want you to believe that she is. The only person she cares about is herself.
I get it. I'm just saying, like, are you going to live your life and being like, oh my God, like.
Yes.
I'm so scared to even
No,
do
but
anything.
here's what I think.
Look how fast Ethan answered her question. He didn't even hesitate. He was more concerned about other people than himself. She can't relate because she's never felt that in her entire life.
There's a lot of people who cannot live in a way. There's people that have to go to work, and there's people that have to put themselves in harm's way of this disease. There's people like me who has a life of luxury, who's, privileged in every way. So people like me should just buck the and stay home, because if I can do my part to not spread this disease, then I'm obligated to do that.
I agree. So
She doesn't agree. That's why she sat there arguing with him. That's why she continued to travel and host gatherings. Because she didn't believe in what he was saying, and she wasn't willing to give up her hobbies and her leisure in the same way that Ethan was for others.
do some Molly with Hila. Then you're just
I
by
can't
yourself.
do Molly. I'm on antidepressants.
Oh,
Probably would if I wasn't, but
Really?
but the antidepressants is more important than the
much microdose on antidepressants.
I'll have to look into that. You do? Damn, you're stacked. You got everything in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can I get arrested though for real?
No.
You can't get arrested for a lie. If you could, she'd be serving life. Don't know what her fascination with shoving Ethan into this is, though. Again, is this the only way she can fathom anyone having excitement in life? Is this all her and Moses do? Never mind. We know they weren't happy, so they weren't doing anything.
Oh my God, I do not want to get arrested.
You're fine. It's only in Minecraft.
Oh my God.
Actually, I'll have to look into that because, it must be fun. The problem is that when you have responsibility, we're doing the show and we have a kid and all this, I don't want, I know, but like, I always have really horrible hangovers. It's just too risky.
It's not bad, especially with mushrooms.
Sometimes it's not bad. Sometimes it's bad. I've had
Her encouraging him to leave his kid to do it is hilarious considering that nanny tantrum she had. I can't get over that. So Ethan's kid being in another room with a nanny while he's at home working is somehow worse than Trisha encouraging Ethan to be away from his kid completely to go do this.
I'm just telling you.
I think it's the people you do it with, and like no one's ever had a bad trip with Beam.
Nope.
Only
It's not a bad trip. It's a bad hangover. Because then, like, I'm up for a few days, and I'm like, dude, I have to do. I can't do it.
Yeah, for sure. I get it. How about only?
She only wants him to do that so she can see him like that, and so she can try to get him to collab with her. Another bonding activity she's thinking of, with a happily married man whose brother-in-law she's dating.
What?
You're starting to.
No.
I thought you were going to.
Oh, for like a joke?
No, for like real. You should try. See how much money you make. You're all about money. Like as soon as TikTok, you heard you can make money. You're like, I'm on TikTok now.
What? I make like $5 a day.
I know you're all about the money, and not just because you're Jewish. It's because you're just.
That's not true. I'm really not all about the money. Why do you say that?
Again, she wants him to get it for her. And notice her passive-aggressive insults now, calling him money-hungry and relating it to him being Jewish. She pointed that out for a reason. The funny thing is that Trisha is the one who started pursuing TikTok more once she learned she could make money on it. She's projecting here. Ethan does do things for money, though, like facilitating her comeback on this podcast that he benefited off of until she later stabbed him in the back. But out of the two of them, Trisha is the guilty party here for being money-hungry and money-motivated. There's nothing Trisha won't do for it. She's proven that.
I know this.
Based on
everything that I've heard about you, that I know about you. You
heard about me
you're
from
money
what?
driven, and that's fine.
That's just not true.
She heard this from Moses, by the way, when Moses was trash-talking Ethan. Moses is who she gets her intel from. That's why she won't admit who her source is. And Ethan was none the wiser at this time that his brother-in-law was a snake who was working with her to try to take him down.
It's not true that I'm money-driven.
Are you a Gemini?
No.
What are you?
I'm not telling you.
She asked this because her ex-boyfriend Jason Nash is a Gemini. She's trying to relate Ethan to Jason, who she also called cheap and money-hungry, when he wasn't. She's trying to prove a point here. By the way, Jason was always Jewish, and she also repeatedly told Jason he was cheap because of it.
Because then you'll be like, oh, that's so you. You are.
I know nothing
I'm
about
not a
signs.
Gemini.
I just hate Geminis.
Well, I'm not a Gemini.
Okay, cool.
What are you?
Again, she hates Geminis because Jason is a Gemini. She's trying to passive-aggressively state that she hates Ethan here. That's why she questioned if he was one.
I'm not going to tell you unless you tell me.
I'm a Cancer.
Oh my God, you're literally Shane. I literally said that because you're in July.
What are you?
What's your birthday? July what?
I'm not born in July.
June.
What's your sign?
Taurus.
Yeah, I knew you were Taurus. Taurus. Such a Taurus.
Oh my God, I knew you were very Shane-esque because you're both Cancers. That means you're very sensitive. I do know about Cancers because like my best friend obviously has
Can I
Cancer.
ask you something?
Yeah.
Now, she's changing gears here and claiming she knew all along he was giving her Shane vibes and uses him being a Cancer to validate that. This only reinforces the idea in her head that her and Ethan are similar and are bonded in some way. She wants to be as close to him as she is to Shane. That's her goal, even closer. And Shane is also someone that Trisha pursued back in the day when she had a crush on him. And she tried to pursue him when he was in a relationship. Some things never change.
How is it possible that everybody born in the same month has the same characteristics as a person? That's literally you're saying. It's so ridiculously absurd, the notion of astrology.
I agree to some degree, but I do.
You're like everybody who's ever born in June has the same exact characteristic. It's crazy.
They do. I mean, Gemini's for sure. That's the June.
Yeah, well, sounds crazy.
And you're
to me.
very sensitive.
But I'm not. But first of all,
Trisha knows nothing about astrology. She's just equating it to people she knows who are those particular signs and basing everyone off of those people that she knows. Look at her now acting like she knows Ethan so well because he shares the same sign as Shane. And to her, that somehow means he's exactly like Shane or will be or can be with her. I don't know why she keeps insisting that Ethan is so sensitive when she barely knows him. She's saying this because she believes Shane is sensitive, so she's throwing that label on Ethan.
I resent you saying that I'm money-driven.
Oh.
He doesn't know yet that she projects a lot. He'll learn that later. But she's accusing him of something she herself is guilty of, and is doing that deflection thing again, where if she pins it on him, it takes the heat off of her for being it. And it's interesting that she's so judgmental about something she herself is. It's no wonder Ethan is offended. It's an offensive assumption for her to make purely based off of him being Jewish. But that's not the only assumption she'll ever make or the most offensive she'll ever be with him. Keep watching, and you'll see what we mean. It only gets worse.